Hello and good evening, and welcome to the No Exit podcast. In case you're wondering what it's about, I'm Jason, and first we'll introduce our people. To my left is Vanessa. We have
Are you
Richard
Jason
over
from
here.
Camp
Please
Crystal
be quiet.
Lake? You just introduced me, so I get to talk.
Please stop. There's
Hammer
Wayne.
time.
There's the beautiful Sasha, and there's the exquisite Tony, who is wearing a mask, so you can't see his mug. And we have Sal on the from home. Hey, Sal. So I have the intro that I'm going to read here, and so I'm going to do it in French first because I'm like that. Alors, c'est l'enfer. Je n'aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, le feu et le soufre, le mar brûlant, des histoires de bonnes femmes? Pas besoin de tisonnier chauffe au rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I never have believed it. You remember we were all told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marrow, old wives' tales. There's no need for red-hot pokers. Hell is other people. And so that's the real thesis that, if you recall Watchmen from the late 80s, written by Alan, what's his name? Well, regardless, Rorschach was in jail, and he says, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. And then the movie The One in 2001 with Jet Li, that's what the alter ego says that. I'm not stuck in this prison with you. You're stuck here with me. As he proceeds to kick the ass of everybody that's coming off the tower. So, kick
the tower, like
kick
the
it good. And so, no, not like the records.
No. I mean like the tarot card, the tower, the best one.
Oh, no, the tarot is bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Tarot is...
Oh, nobody likes tarot cards here? About you, Tony?
No, because our fate, dear Brutus, lies not in our stars, but in ourselves. You know that the thing about people that cast horoscopes don't realize that every constellation has shifted 15 degrees since antiquity.
That's horoscope.
So everything... Okay.
Our
Groovy,
engineer
cool.
just left.
Way cool. I Palindrome I. That's a song by They Might Be Giants. Okay. So the question I had is there any bad habits or things that you did that were not helpful when you were young that you outgrew as you got older? I will start. I used to be late for everything and not call, not notify. Now, as I've gotten older, I more often than not, like today wasn't an example, but I will tell you I'm going to be late and I still get there early. Instead of the people that show up late and don't give any note, because that is disrespectful, because they think their time is more important than yours. So, Sasha, tell me something.
I disagree with that, where people think it's your time, that it's disrespectful, because it's way more complicated than that.
How is it more complicated? Tell me.
Because sometimes there's shit that got in the way, and it's hell is other people, but then we're supposed to talk about our own bad habits. But the hell is the other people. It's the other people's bad habits.
In
but
this
then,
digital age, what would stop you from texting somebody and saying I'm going to be late?
Oh, nothing with that.
That's
but I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
but I'm talking about where you're saying it's disrespectful of the other person's time. I mean, if you're
without calling, I exactly said that.
Okay,
Showing up late without calling, that's the disrespect.
Absolutely calling. I mean, unless you're like underground and you can't call. No, absolutely calling. But the way
You're at
to
the underground on Delaware Avenue?
That's a gay bar.
I know, I like it.
I was telling her, I wasn't telling you.
yeah, and I should know it, but I don't.
I didn't know.
But I mean, to
still
jump to
open.
the conclusion that it's all about you is kind of selfish. That somebody else was late, and you don't know if they were, if they fell or if they, what the hell happened.
There was a guy who was, he wasn't an ER doc, and I worked in Hawaii, but he was a nephrologist. But he was the Honolulu EMS medical director. Like, what the hell? He didn't have any business doing that. He would show up at 10 after 7 on Saturday nights. Mm-hmm. Never explain anything, never apologize. He thought leaving me there for 10 minutes, because in the ED, you can't, if it's critical, you can't leave it there.
Right.
When I was in South Carolina, there was a woman who showed up at 2 minutes after 7. The guy in the night, since she was late, he had a tube. He had to intubate a patient.
Yeah.
And you got to manage that. You can't just tube him and walk away because she was 2 minutes late. Because people that are late and don't notify, that they're going to be late think their time is
Yeah,
more
well,
important. than
okay. You've added in the exception of notifying, where I always notified. Yeah, it was definitely a habit, although way more to it. But you're adding notifying, so that makes a huge difference. Of course, I always notified people.
Okay, Tony, what did you do as a young man that you don't do now that you've
Alien.
grown out of?
Well, it wasn't so much young, but let's just say within this year here, I've actually just learned to enjoy life more and let stuff roll off of me as opposed to holding it in and just, causing potential ulcers, aneurysms, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A lot better.
Nothing matters much and very little matters at all.
Best summer I've ever had.
Richard,
Diet,
diet?
definitely. I had a very different diet growing up.
What was different? Did you actually eat meat then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had a typical American diet.
Big Macs.
Yeah.
Yum.
That
Yeah.
guy, Don, what's his name, who had a Big Mac every day for 32 years? That guy was rail thin. He ate a Big Mac every day, and he wasn't, he didn't go to 300 pounds.
Well, do you know the documentary Supersize Me?
Morgan
Yes.
Spurlock, that wasn't straightforward. There was creative editing in there, but it wasn't. You can't take it as gospel truth. You have to look at it from the other. And also, Morgan Spurlock was a rabble rouser, and he just died like 2 years ago. But
Do you have a VIN 9 on there?
It's a VIN 9
Yeah.
multi.
You didn't give you a VIN 9?
Let me see what I got. I got that. I got this, which is nothing.
It would say 9, VIN 9.
yeah,
I got a fade to black. A topic card is topic carded. There it
you
is.
go.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
That's me.
okay. Now you're killing the moment. Okay,
Okay.
much better.
Yeah, so
The band, The Moment, like the local band.
No, I've never even heard of them.
They're from the 80s. And you're from the 80s, aren't you? Are you from the 80s?
Well,
Are you ready for the
I
80s?
stopped in for a time.
Did you stop in and say hi?
No, not to you. Sorry about that.
so I had to evolve out of my own diet by myself.
Really?
Of course, it had to do with meeting people, too.
Who was formative in you abandoning meat in your diet?
A podcast that was put on here.
But with whom though? Who?
She had her name was Raider Lee Phoenix.
That name sounds like it should be a palindrome, but it isn't. But I mean,
And I said, where'd you get such an unusual name? And she said, my mother was a hippie. So
Papa was a coppa, Mama was a hippie, and
so they did a show here called Eat, Live, Live Well. And it was all about people who follow the raw food diet. And
Makes you fart.
and I would engineer the show. And I was very impressed by what I heard on that podcast. They had people coming in as guests on the show who recovered from cancer with the raw food diet and went into remission. And especially intriguing to me was when they had on a teenager. And a teenager said, yeah, I started the raw food diet last month and I feel a lot better. And they asked him, do you feel more spiritual? And the teenager said, I don't know. And you know what they said? After about 3 months, you will. When I heard that, I said, I got to check this out because I want to see what that feeling is like of being more spiritual.
because you didn't get that in the seminary,
No. So I did. And you know what happened after 3 months?
so you became more spiritual.
No. I started to think clearer. And I said, that's what they're referring to when they say more spiritual. It's their vocabulary.
That sounds kind of cultish. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
a little bit.
Blue Oyster cultish?
No.
Jim Jones cultish?
Yes. Yes.
I love Jim.
Hold on.
I love Jim Jones. He is dad.
And it was not Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid.
That's
Flavor
right.
Aid is very big in the South. I would use Flavor Aid when I was in the Southern Caribbean. And so Jonestown, Guyana was, because it was in the middle of the in the middle of the rainforest.
Like my house in
Because,
Hawaii.
the three Guianas. There's French. There was British Guiana, and there's Dutch Guiana, which is now Suriname, and it is the only Dutch-speaking member of the CARICOM, the Caribbean Community. But the ESA has a launch facility in Koiru in French Guiana, the European Space Agency, because that's an overseas department like Tahiti of France. But
Like the good soda pop Tahitian treat.
and so they launch out rockets from there. That's why how the ESA gets their satellites into space. But also they did stuff in Tahiti. There's our tracking things. What's interesting is if you look up where the security things were for in the space shuttle, if it had to ditch, all the places around the world where they could land. And there were some remarkable places. So, Wayne, do you have anything to say this evening?
Yeah, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was a very heavy drinker. And I outgrew that, and now I drink, unfortunately, I'm a Pepsi-holic now. But as far as alcohol goes, I very seldom drink alcohol now. So,
So you two both have in common that you like soda.
yes.
Although, when I started drinking sugar-free sodas is when I really ramped it up. That's when I really dialed it up. Because interestingly, when I drank sugared sodas, I liked Pepsi. But for sugar-free or diet or zero, it's Coke Zero, which is, I don't know how that's evolved my taste because I don't like a Diet Pepsi. But
Did you have a moment when you said, I got to give this up?
Yeah, because I was always, for part of it, I was always drunk. And,
Yeah.
And then I started driving ambulance in Buffalo, and I had to give it up.
There was a
Yeah.
guy who was a guest on a show, and he talked about the moment he gave up alcohol. He said that he was house sitting for a friend. And they said, do whatever you want. You're our house sitter. You don't have to worry. So he's sitting there, and he's getting drunker and drunker, and he looks over. Oh, look, they got a little tape recorder on the table here. So he picks it up, and he hits the record button, and he goes, might as well tell you the story of my life, tape recorder. So he did, and then he passed out eventually, and he woke up the next morning, and he looks and he sees, oh, I forgot to shut the tape recorder off. Let's see what I recorded. And he listens to himself, and what a bitter, contemptible human being he was while drunk. And he said to himself, I'm never drinking again, because it transforms me.
well, there's the old phrase, in vino veritas, in wine the truth. Could that have been who he really was? Because it disinhibited him. If he really was a nasty guy, that was it a front? The not drunk him is he's putting on a fake happy face. Is that the possibility?
Never know just how you look through other people's eyes.
Vanessa, did wine bring out the truth in you?
Is it?
Not wine. It sure brought out the truth in my wino, wife in name only. She could drink 3 bottles of wine by noon and get really weird.
What does weird mean? Weird good or weird bad?
I mean, the cops had to come, and
Oh.
I had 3 restraining orders on her, and she used to chase me around with butcher knives.
Butcher knives are just like
No,
kitchen
big,
knives,
big.
like
It was a knife. It was a big ass knife. It was like this big, and it was like curved. It looked
Oh, so like the sword. Yeah.
looked like something from one of those good slasher movies.
yeah, it's called the sword. It looks like a fighting sword. It has a curve on it.
Yeah, it has like a curve, yeah.
Almost like the Mameluke sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the Marine Corps.
Oh, and Jason, when you were talking about being late, when I was driving ambulance, if you were 1 minute late, because we work 24-hour shifts.
That sucks, by the way.
Yeah, as you would know. If we were 1 minute late, we got sent home without pay.
Wow.
But
So-
when you're 22, what do you say? Heck yes, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, but it taught me to be on time. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, what time did I get here? About 6:40.
Yep.
So, I'm always, I almost always punctual.
Sure.
Sometimes things happen that you can't help, but other than that, I'm going to be there on time.
Fascinating.
That to the shippers and receivers.
Since
who are
Richard
the
brought this
truck
up in the
drivers.
text, I want to share
Oh,
something.
I can't hear you, Sal.
I said since Richard brought this up in the text, I want to share something.
Okay.
When I remember going to school when I was in elementary school, and they were saying how bad smoking was, and I believed it, and I tried to get my mom to quit from the age of 6 to the age of 12, and then I gave up. And she tried hypnosis and laser and all this, whatever she could think of, and she wasn't able to quit smoking. And when I turned 18, I joined her out of a negative attitude because I had some complicated negative attitudes going on at the time, or for a long time back when I was younger. And it's probably my biggest foible. It's caught people don't like smokers anymore, and that's not enough to stop me. And I think I would prefer if I never started, but I do smoke, and I guess I don't think it's necessarily a deal killer with God, because if you look back at all the prophets, they all had faults. They had faith, so I guess
The Prophet 5 or the Prophet 600?
I like to think of Abraham because his wife had me involved with her slave servant, and he had a child with her before he had Isaac, who was the one promised by God.
Isaac Hayes.
No. Is there somebody behind you, Sal?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw somebody move, and that's
It's the Holy Ghost. It's moving through him.
No, it's a friend of mine. I told him to keep
Jesus
it down.
is your
said
friend.
something earlier. I don't know if you heard him.
You say he's just a friend.
Yeah.
You say he's just a friend.
You say he's got what you need.
Yeah.
You got what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy
It's
who can't,
Marky.
another one who can't sing. Like Perry Farrell said, I can't sing, and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to become a millionaire, and he did. Got caught stealing when I was 5.
Down the mountain.
So that singing
So
is
he said, I can sing and I can prove it.
yeah, and
My neighbor-
he was the one who started
You're my
Lollapalooza.
friend. He'll take money out of my mom's purse and give it to me, and then I did that, and then my mom asked me. She said, "Can't you find anything smaller?" Because all my mom had there were 20s, and this is in the early 70s.
What are you talking about? Cigarettes?
No money.
Oh.
A friend of mine's older sister said, if you want to be my friend, you'll take money out of your mom's purse and give it to me. And then when my mom asked me about it, I was honest with her and told her what had happened. But I wasn't really thinking in terms of right or wrong at the time because I was so young.
How old were you?
4.
Oh, okay.
So she got caught, and I don't know what the repercussions were because I was just a kid. The adults handled it. So
in later years, did you get forgiveness for that sin?
actually, there's something about knowing something's a sin.
Oh, yeah. You have to know it's a sin for it to be a sin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so. If you don't know, you're not responsible. But once you do know, you're not supposed to commit intentional sin.
Well, but then that leads to the idea of if you don't know, and then you go to limbo, which is a completely made up bullshit idea by the Catholic Church.
What about purgatory?
That's what
Again,
he's talking about.
but that actually is one of the first times you've actually been in line instead of being off the wall.
Oh, last in line like Dio or off the wall like Michael Jackson?
Neither of the above.
Oh,
Is that like a
And we're back off the rails again.
thanks to me. You missed me, didn't you?
I still miss you, but my aim is getting better.
Your aim is true like Elvis Costello?
How can I miss you when you won't go away?
I'll never go away. You're
Yeah,
stuck with
you're
me.
like cancer or a rash.
Don't need it.
No.
Good Zodiac sign. You like the Zodiac? And he likes the Zodiac Killer over there.
That was why in Dirty Harry they called him Scorpio because it was a play on the Zodiac Killer. But Andrew Robinson, who played the Scorpio killer, he can't not flinch when he's shooting the guns. That's why they don't show him shooting, because he always was doing that. And they played on that in Deep Space Nine in the 90s, because Andrew Robinson has claustrophobia, and they would put him in areas where so his reaction is real.
Did Dirty Harry catch the Scorpio killer?
Yeah, he kills him, and then Dirty Harry throws his badge in the water, and then he comes back for, what was the next one? Magnum Force, or was it the Enforcer? What was the second one? Because there were 5 total. There was the Enforcer, Magnum Force, Sudden Impact, the Deadpool, and what's the one I'm forgetting? Because one had David Soul, who was star.
Oh yeah, David Soul. He made that good song in the '70s. That
Baby,
soft rock.
don't give up on Baby.
Yeah, yeah.
He
was Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, but was he? Was he Hutch or was he Starsky?
Oh, so he was both
I think
an
it was
actor
Hutch.
and
Wasn't
a
Hutch the
musician?
blonde one?
That was him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he also got his start in. He was on an episode of Star Trek in 1967 or 68, worshiping the god Landru, who was actually just a very complex machine.
So he was like Mark Wahlberg, who started out as a musician, then became an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He ran
Wasn't
a
it
hamburger
Donnie?
stand.
I thought Donnie Wahlberg was
Yeah,
the one
he
who was
was
in
in-
New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, he was.
It was Donnie.
Donnie
Right,
Wahlberg?
yeah. And then
I
Mark
thought-
Wahlberg did music.
Marky
and then
Mark.
acting.
Yeah, Marky
yeah,
Mark.
and the
They
Funky
both-
Bunch.
they
And
both
the
did,
Spunky
though.
Bunch,
They
yeah.
both they
Yep.
both did. But everybody's a musician when they're young. But then most of them don't make it any further. But everybody when they're 18, they're a musician of this or that, or they're an artist or whatever. And then most don't do it, and then they become a bricklayer, or they become a mathematician, or a carpenter's wife. I don't know how I got started. I don't know what they do with their life.
There was a guy who was a U.S. senator, and somebody said, I think it was the movie where the aliens come to Earth.
Independence Day?
Yeah. They said, Senator, would you be nice enough to make a little cameo in the movie?
What's a good band cameo?
And they did. And he said, wait a minute, aren't you going to give me any speaking parts? I spend my time coming here. And they said, okay, yeah, we'll give you some lines.
Of cocaine.
He was so good in that little cameo that other producers said, can you be in our movie? He was in like 30 movies after that.
Who is the guy?
We'd have to look up the cast
Okay.
of Independence Day.
Does
You
it-
could probably do it on your phone.
Well, it doesn't. That's why I'm thinking. I'm trying
Your
to think.
rotary phone.
And when he died, they put in his obituary, Senator from so-and-so, and notable for his appearances in movie.
And that's a thing you don't expect. Like John Bennett Layfield, JBL, because
Lyndon Baines Johnson?
no JBL because
Good speaker company.
No, that John Bennett Layfield was both a financial guy, and he is also a pro wrestler. So
Wow.
he'd be talking on CNN Money, then he'd go wrestle and with all the kayfabe and all the acting, But those don't go together, at the same time. You don't expect Jim Cramer to put on a pair of tights and go flying around the ring. You don't expect. What's her name? Mary? No. Well, you don't expect these financial people to be Dave Ramsey to be putting on a mask and being a luchador.
Do you know about Sal Khan?
Why does that ring a bell? But I don't.
Sal Khan was an investment banker, also known as financial advisor, and he was not wildly successful, but he was successful. And then his brother-in-law said, "Sal, you know a lot about economics, and you know a lot about math. Can you help me with my math homework?" So he helped him out. Then the brother-in-law told all the other relatives. They're all saying, "Hey, you really helped out so-and-so. Can you help out me?" And he was overwhelmed. And then Sal solved the problem by saying, "How about if I just make a YouTube video and you can all watch it?" So he did. And then that developed a huge following. So he started the Khan Academy,
Oh,
where he taught people online, right? And it's all free. He gave up his job as a financial advisor because he had enough. And then someone said, why don't you actually open up a school? So he did that, where you could go to Arizona and you could actually sit in on the Khan Academy. And he has a rule in his school. It is okay, students, that you use AI to help you, inspire you. But if you use it to do your homework, I warn you, I have the AI that can sniff out other AI, and I will find that that's not really you. So I'm going to call on you in class, and I'm going to ask you questions that you supposedly answered, and if you cannot answer them, you're kicked out of school.
Wow. Single sanction. Because I thought Khan Academy was KHAN. I thought it was Indian. I didn't realize it was KAHN. I thought it was an Indian guy, you know? So I didn't know that was a story. Wow, that's way cool. Because, that made me think of Dr. Sam Shepard. In case you don't remember, he was the thesis of The Fugitive.
It
When
wasn't me. It was a one-armed man.
Well, it was a man with bushy hair. That's what he said, a bushy-haired man.
No, they said in the TV series it was a one-arm man.
No,
Yeah,
I'm talking about the
one-arm.
real guy.
Oh, he's a real guy.
Yeah, in the 50s. And he was acquitted after 2 trials, but he was a neurosurgeon, but not good. And because of the whole thing, he became a heavy drinker. He went back to neurosurgery, crippled a couple people, and do you know what he did then? He became a professional wrestler. Yeah, because
What
his
happened to the
brother-in-law
bushy-haired
was a
guy?
promoter, and well, they didn't find out who that was, but it wasn't him. And then he went back to the neurosurgery and really crippled some people. And then he didn't kill himself, but he died in humiliation and poor. But yeah, he was a neurosurgeon that also wrestled. But pro wrestling's been fake since the 20s. Because
The
they
2020s?
Or the 1920s.
No, the
The
2020s.
1820s?
no,
It's-
there
it's
wasn't
always
pro
been
wrestling in
real.
the 1820s. No, in the 1920s, that's when the kayfabe started. When they started, writing the scripts. But Elliot Apollo
pills,
would say,
prescriptions? They're writing the script.
The Mayans were said to have invented wrestling.
well, everybody did the struggle.
and
that
the Hopi Indians said it's going to happen above the 45th parallel.
And that's when, but like Iliad Apollo said, they weren't really fixed, but they would say, "Come on, boys, we got to finish it up now." And so whatever happened extemporaneously is what occurred. But writing it, because the reason why I mention that is, you may now be able to bet on pro wrestling at the
Off-track betting?
casino or other places, the betting houses, even though it's all scripted. So that would have to be very secure, that only a people would know it. But that's crazy. You're betting on a scripted thing, which doesn't make sense.
Like the election?
Apropos to nothing, that.
Awesome.
And so, because that the what was the devil's biggest thing was proving that he didn't exist. What was the line from The Usual Suspects? Come on, what was the line from The Usual Suspects?
Don't know.
I never watched The Usual Suspects.
You never saw the movie?
Nope, never saw the movie.
It was a movie.
I know it was a movie. I just never saw it.
You should have seen it.
But I didn't.
Would
I
have,
did.
should have, could have.
Cool.
Yeah. You see Sal Monaco's movie at the Infringement Festival?
No, I didn't. What's the title of it, and what's the thesis?
I was thinking it's called Two Sisters, and it's one of Sal's fetishes of like girls doing kung fu with no shoes on. And he's the instructor, so he's always watching because he's the observer. He likes to watch.
I think we're gonna hurl.
You know Sal Monaco, right? Sal's laughing. He must know Sal Monaco.
He
The
sat
signpost
behind
ahead.
Sal Monaco
It
in
says,
grammar
"What the fuck
school.
just
Holy
happened here?"
moly! What was Sal Monaco like in grammar school?
He had a very head.
I met him in high school.
Oh,
That's how we became friends. We both have the name Sal. So we introduced ourselves to each other and we became friends in high school along with Anthony Schuler, who now works as the manager and technician for dialysis throughout
Oh,
parts of
Anthony.
New York State.
Anthony. Ant.
Ant Banks, the hip hop producer.
No, Anthony. Who the hell?
Anthony, he wishes people into the cornfield.
Was that his name?
Yeah, in the
Anthony
Twilight Zone.
Fremont.
No,
Anthony.
I know what I know, but I didn't realize it was Anthony. But yeah.
Hey, are you Anthony or Tony? That's
alien
right.
lawnmower.
That's right. Hi.
You look like Elaine Jorgensen now. From Alien to Elaine.
Al Jorgensen, did you talk about
Yeah,
Ministry?
Al Jorgensen. Yeah, Ministry. Yeah.
That's Ministry for you.
That's
You never heard the early stuff.
You never heard With Sympathy?
No, the early stuff was all
Twitch?
techno. Yeah, yeah. I heard the first stuff was really wasn't bad for
It's
techno.
great.
But
It's like synth pop.
Al Jorgensen.
Yeah, his later stuff. Yeah. I saw him live. They had like 11 guitarists behind a cage.
Good God.
Because Al had a bunch of tattoos and no piercings, and his daughter had a bunch of piercings, no tattoos. He said she was a pussy because she didn't have any ink, and she said he was a pussy because he didn't have any piercings. So he got his head pierced into submission, and she got some ink. You know that when you, if your head looks like it got stuck in a mouse trap, I think you did it wrong. That because if you want to see some real fun, if somebody has a pierced nose or it attaches their ear, pull on the chain and pull it out. That we would see
Jesus.
that a lot in South Carolina, the earlobe that was pulled through. Because when you're wearing big hoop earrings, it's a big
Yeah.
target.
Oh, God. Yeah, it is.
Just hang a shower curtain on it.
You know that
That
that's
sounds pretty morbid.
it happens.
How many people with the nose connected to the ear?
I
Do you remember
remember-
that, the 80s
Oh, yeah.
video?
Child,
Like Jane Child,
Don't
yeah,
wanna
don't-
fall
Fall in love.
Yeah, it's a great video. I have the album.
She, without all the chains, incredibly beautiful woman.
She's
but
from
then she-
Toronto.
regardless if she was from New
Well,
York or San
Toronto's
Francisco.
cool. We like Toronto. It's a good city.
If you say Toronto, you're not from there. Toronto.
I'm not from there.
Toronto.
I wish I was from there,
That's what
but
you
I'm
say,
not.
Toronto. Don't say
You don't say
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah, they do.
City.
The people there that they don't put the hard T on it. Toronto
Okay.
or T-O. Like who calls it the Big Apple in New York City?
Nobody.
Nobody.
And out west is Oregon, not Oregon.
Oregon. Like I play the organ. Oregon.
The sex
Actually,
organ?
more like Oregon, like that. Oregon.
Oregon. That's where the med student who didn't know anything, John, that's where he ended up.
That's also the scene of the Klein Falls axe attack in 1977.
I don't like Mondays.
Well, that wasn't Brenda
does Bob
Spencer,
Geldof.
but she kind of looked like her. Looked worse after the accident. Well, it wasn't an accident. The guy's pretty pissed.
You know, sometimes it's better to be pissed on than pissed off. I mean, as gross as it sounds,
If you're
you
in
know,
the-
Well, if you're to
It's
go
my
in
life.
showers, it's not so bad.
Trump likes that.
Hitler
Putin
liked
has
it.
all the videos.
that's called urolagnia. So,
What's urolagnia? Liking to getting urinated on?
yes, that's what I just said. You said it, and I said that's called urolagnia.
Okay,
And
we're just
What's the etymology of that?
the lag is consumption, and the euro is urine.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
well, your
Recycled-
urolagnia is
recycled
the
beer.
consumption. Okay.
Or like coprolalia is just talking dirty.
Okay.
That actually literally means shit talking.
But it wouldn't be like urophilia.
Well, urophilia are the people that enjoy the whole part and parcel.
Okay.
Because some people that get peed on they don't want it in their mouth, but they want to be peed on.
Yeah. It's
It
disgusting.
doesn't have to necessarily be evil, like going showers.
You
though,
started it,
you know?
Vanessa.
Just is.
How tasty, yeah.
Well, that's because of the sodium content. Mm-hmm. That's why it has that salty taste.
Yeah.
But was that a true story? Did Gandhi really?
I was thinking, yeah.
He slept
go.
with three
Oh no, I was thinking of the
young
Buddha.
women every night,
Yeah.
and Gandhi would pee into a glass and drink it every morning.
Oh,
Well,
it's
Who's
living,
the Buddha?
living
I
water.
thought that was Siddhartha.
Living water.
Gautama Siddhartha?
I thought
The
he drank
Buddha?
his own urine. I don't know.
Well,
so if your pee is not dehydrated, can you rehydrate yourself by
No, because-
drinking your undehydrated piss?
no,
You gotta
because
drink-
the
there's- I think
sodium
you can go-
content is so high you'll become hyponatremic.
I think you can
Or
go. I think you can go 3
Or the
times
Buddha.
deep, and that's it.
You want to see something creepy? Look at those Buddhas, or the monks that slowly starved themselves and got encased in the gold, and they you could see the X-ray of the bones in there, and they're dead inside the gold.
Wow.
Yeah, the things we do for religion, not the things we do for love. You know,
Right.
walking in the rain and the snow.
The
with
things we do
nowhere
for
to go.
love, like OJ and Michael Jackson both.
Why are you obsessed with black men in gloves? That's on you, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so.
and if it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yes.
That was a
He
bad.
wore a latex glove under the thing. Of course it's going to fit.
And that's that's because of the cornstarch lubrication.
Oh,
And but
Diddy
people,
oil.
Well, I recall at ECMC back, it was in 1993, there were these two Buffalo police officers, because I remember it, two black dudes. One guy had two guns on, but they were both right-hand draw, but he's like a cowboy. The other guy has, in his uniform, and he has this beaten leather holster with a .38. I mean, just pulled on. And one of those officers said, if OJ didn't do it, he was there. And he said, I think his son is who did it. But OJ was there. You know, he was in the room. And so that was very, very telling. And only OJ would write a book saying, if I did it.
Yeah.
I have it on audiobook.
Was it OJ reading it?
Yeah. OJ's reading it. I have it. I have the tape. You want to borrow it?
A mind is a
Put it in your
terrible thing,
Walkman.
and it should be stopped at any cost. Oh, Sal's back.
I got the Sarah Palin spoken word book, too.
Why
forgot what
would I
that's
listen
called.
to the stuff
Why
that I
would
have no
you do
interest
it?
in? Are
I
you
got it at the flea
fun?
market.
I actually
You
have
know?
a graphic novel of the Zodiac murders. Thinking so it's all in French, so I don't understand a fucking thing it says.
Well, they translated some of those acrostics, but if you realize the computing power that they have at Fort Meade, you know, with the NSA, they're cracking all this stuff, you know, and some of it, believe it or not, crazy people say stupid shit, and it makes no
me.
sense, you know. But so,
And it
Richard,
has-
do you have any
The
topics
show
for us this
proves
evening?
that.
I do.
Dites-moi.
Looking it up. Okay. This quote came up during the week.
Mm-hmm.
I got to write that down. They didn't just give us bread and circuses. They put the circus right in our pocket and in the palm of our hands.
Oh,
You follow
cell
it?
phones?
Yeah.
So they didn't just give us bread at the circus, you said?
Well, the Roman emperors, they used to have the events in the Colosseum,
Uh-huh.
and the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
And the emperor said, "Ooh, I got to get even more people to come to these things." So during the halftime, a cart would come out with full of loaves of bread, and they would throw it into, and people would dive to get the loaf of bread and everything. So the emperor said, "Well, the best way to keep the people happy is to give them bread and circuses, namely the gladiator fights." You know,
Okay.
and so this person is commenting, how much have we evolved? Because the new circus is in our pocket.
Well, you know, the religion is the opiate of the masses. This is the
True.
opiate because people are the same. They might as well be high as they're looking at their phone. They walk into traffic.
Traffic with
Same difference.
Steve Winwood?
What?
No,
Steve Winwood.
Traffic with Steve Winwood won't kill you. Traffic on the road will.
How about the best of bread and circuses?
No, but guns and butter is different. That was
That was
LBJ
good.
because you could only have one or the other. You could have bread and circuses in ancient Rome, but guns or butter, you couldn't. And the way the economics of it work, I forgot how it works, but you could have one or the other. And so,
You can have Guns and Roses.
yeah, but Axl Rose is a detestable person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like John Lennon was. The more I learn about Lennon, is the more you wouldn't want to talk to him
Vladimir
in a
Lenin?
room. You know, he might have been a musical genius, but he was not a nice guy.
I guess Lou Reed was exactly easy to get along with either.
Well, you know,
Lou Reed's delightful.
why? Because you can't get along with him?
He made some good records, like Metal Machine music.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the point. You know,
Transformer.
We had a whole conversation, me and Vanessa. How much of Lou Reed is the Lou Reed projected by the record label, and how much is the real Lou Reed?
We'll never know.
Because I say they're totally different.
well, not totally different,
I don't know
but they
about that.
they don't share a lot in common. But I don't know. You know, but I wouldn't say it's totally different. Totally different would be.
Well, look at the albums where he portrays himself as this person who lives on the edge of a decadent society, you know, and he loves it all. Walk on the Wild Side.
Sister Ray.
And then look at him in the last 2 decades of his life. He marries Laurie Anderson. They have a typical normal life.
Laurie
right?
Anderson's far from normal, though. He didn't marry somebody normal.
Apparently, he beat the crap out of David Bowie in a restaurant once.
But you wonder if Bowie brought that on himself.
David Blowie.
And James Osterberg.
Iggy.
Yeah, see, he got it. Iggy Pop. Because back in '76, when they got arrested in Rochester for the marijuana, that's they didn't call him Iggy Pop. They called him James Osterberg, along with Bowie and the woman. I forgot who the woman was, but it was Bowie's
So-
paramour at the time.
The woman.
Well,
What was Bowie's real name?
David Jones, and because he had to change it because
Because of the
Davy Jones
Monkees.
was part of the Monkees, and but it's a common name, so that's why. And he took Bowie like the Bowie knife, and actually it was pronounced. The family pronounced it Bowie.
Were there any fans of the Monkees here in this room?
Hey, we're the Monkees.
They made some
People
good
baby
records.
monkey
Their later
around.
stuff like Aquarius,
Well,
Capricorn,
watched
and
it.
Jones
Oh,
Incorporated.
goodness.
Not your thing?
They were
I
like,
watched it because it was on.
yeah, they were just a constructed thing, you know. But I did win a free book because it was the last train to Clarksville. I answered that question. Where the hell is it? Je l'ai perdu. Oh,
What are you looking for?
this. Okay.
Oh, did you get
There we are.
disconnected?
Yeah, I was what is it? Unplug,
You were unplugged like Eric Clapton.
Disconnectified.
The Monkees were so manufactured that they didn't even play their own instruments until the fourth album.
and
They
Mike-
wouldn't let them, yeah. Then they
Right.
learned how to. Yeah.
Michael Nesmith invented the music video because there'd been promo videos before, but something he did, I don't know if Carl the first one
Elephant
was.
Parts you're talking about from the 80s? He made a conceptual video that was
No,
really
that's
well
not
received.
it. No, but Michael Nesmith's mother invented liquid paper.
It's good to sniff. You ever get high on that? Put it in a paper bag.
No, that seems kind of inefficient. You know, gold paint's better. There's a picture.
Yeah, you're right. Gold painted. That's the best.
The metallic
Testers are
papers.
airplane glue.
Well, but the
glue.
toluene will kill your liver. And there's a picture online. The guy doesn't want you to see it, but a dude who got arrested, he has the gold painter on his face. He's off in the gold paint. That's what his mugshot shows. It's like a mask, like a raccoon. But the silver.
There was a person who came over here in the 80s, and I said, "Can I take a photo of you?" And he said, "Sure." I said, "Let's put some text in there." And he wrote down for his text, "Man who does not want to go back to the hellhole that is his bedroom." You know why he wrote that?
Why?
Because he would go to his bedroom and he would sniff paint.
Oh my God.
He was found dead with that thing on his face.
Yeah. Well, because the metal paints, the silver and the gold, have a higher gas content, and so that's why they have the preferential. That's why it's so dramatic because it's gold or silver paint on the mug. And you know,
So that's that song from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Silver and Gold is about then.
no, it isn't.
It's about huffing paint. And
How about
their
Scarlet
preferences.
Gold?
Acapulco Gold?
Alive.
Burl Ives, yeah.
Burl Ives was a raving anti-Semite.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he was
I
a.
was not aware of that.
He was a. I'm not Jewish, but I'm Jewish.
You got
You know, I'm the most Jewish goy you'll ever meet. But and
Okay.
Burl Ives was an absolute anti-Semite. He was an absolute. You know, well, it's like I wonder how sweet Will Gear was so sweet because he was very 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 openly gay off screen, but he played the grandfather on the Waltons.
Can't sweet people be gay?
No, what I mean is he wasn't sweet on the TV. You know he didn't look like he was repulsed by the women.
Oh, his character.
Yeah, but I don't know how sweet he was. But what did I tell you? What is the big dirty secret about gay people? They're just as boring as straight people. You know that.
Most of them.
Yeah, that most people, whatever they do, they just want to do their job and go home. Who they love is who they love. You know, it's not like they have to stand on the street corner and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm gay." You know.
Sal,
lives.
Sal,
You
have
don't
you
to
ever
stand on the
noticed
street
that?
corner and say, "Hey, I'm straight."
Sal, in your life experiences, have you met gay people who are boring?
I've met some very nice gay people, and I've met some. That's a tough topic for me. And I didn't want to get into this yet because I need to make sure that I have a good relationship with all of you before we get into to some of the crux of this
Well,
conversation.
we don't want to make you uncomfortable
Don't worry about me. I'm lefter than left.
because T.R. Knight, when he got with that whole kerfuffle on Grey's Anatomy, he said, "Yeah, I'm gay, but I would hope that that's not the most interesting thing about me." And my barber said his daughter is a big softball player, and one of the players came up and introduced himself. Said, "Hi, I'm a lesbian." He said, "Yeah, but can you play softball?"
You know the story of General Eisenhower?
Not specifically.
So he's in charge of all the military in World War II, and then the war ended, and he still was a general. And then one day, he called in the head of the women's army, and he said, "It's been called to my attention, Major so and so, that there are gay lesbian women that are in the U.S. Army." He said, I can't abide that. Would you seek them out and court-martial them?" And you know what she said? She said, "General, if I do that, I'm going to get court-martialed, and my whole list of officers that I govern are going to get court-martialed."
But Eisenhower had a lot of anti-gay stuff going on.
And you know what Eisenhower replied? He said, "Oh, I'm so busy today. Let's pretend this conversation never happened."
And that's really the thing, that unless your whole career is predicated on your sexuality,
Like Tracy Lords.
no.
New Wave Hookers.
New Wave Hookers was a porn movie from the 80s that Tracy Lords was in, and that's what Vanessa is trying to be
Dark
ironic.
Brothers.
And,
The Dark Brothers.
because
They made the
didn't know-
best 80s porn.
They didn't know that Tracy Lords was underage at the
Right.
time because she was in Penthouse as the Penthouse pet, and that's the same issue that had Vanessa Williams Vanessa Williams, the Miss America, in it. There were pictures that were taken in the early 80s by a guy named Tom Chappelle, and he published those, and he capitalized on that, and that's how she lost her title as Miss America. And Suzette Charles from New Jersey was the runner-up, who's also black, because the people that were racist thought we were going to get rid of this black woman who's Miss America. Well, they got another one in place. And so that's why the Tracy Lords videos are all literally
Illegal
child
now.
porn, because she didn't look it, but she was underage.
Oh my God.
She lied about her age.
Yeah, she lied about her age. And so, but also at the same time, at that time, the age of consent in the UK was 16. So there were 16-year-old page 3 girls that were in the newspaper, and it was legal.
Yeah.
Hey, people are people. And
The detached mode.
so why should it be? You and I should get along so awesomely.
Yeah, we do.
We are different colors and we are different creeds. And it's obvious you hate me.
Well, I don't know what I did.
He just existed. That's all.
Nothing.
How can I help?
Je ne sais quoi.
Oh, moi, j'aime le français. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Somebody killed my phone.
You care about Taco Bell?
No.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
No, yo quiero comer
Gordita.
algo diferente.
And chorito. Mexican pizza. You like Mexican pizza?
Buenas noches.
What toppings are on it?
Black olives, grounded beef, cheddar
Carne.
cheese, and refried beans.
Queso. Frijoles.
I don't know if the queso. Oh, yeah, cheese, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And frijoles, that's beans.
Yeah, frijoles.
Although on Worst Cooks in America, the one woman, her nickname is Bean, and the one judge is an Italian chef. He calls her Fazul.
Chef Boyardee.
No, he's Italian. Hector
Chef
Boyardee was from Cleveland. But this chef, Gabe Bertolucci, and I mean, this guy looks good. The women are like fawning over him because he has pipes on him like that, bigger than Sanford's arms, and but also he's a chef, and he calls
so
this
is
woman
Jeffrey
Bean.
Dahmer.
What?
The chef of death. Chef
Okay,
Death.
that's
Just
imagine
dragging
a
us
car that
into
goes right into a brick
honestly.
wall. That's like every time you say something. I mean,
That's my function.
what was the school that you said she follows of the disrupting to disrupt? You had a name on it, and I can't think what it was. The school
Ooh, you
of-
got a name? Oh, cool.
that.
Yeah,
Like
what
Jim
was
Croce,
that?
he's got a name.
No, it's something arty that's up your alley.
Yeah, there's a school of art that attempts to disrupt.
Dada?
Yeah, I think it
Oh,
is.
you didn't. I didn't think it was Dada because I don't know Dada's first name or where that came from.
Idi Amin Dada.
No, not him. He wasn't.
He
an
plays
artist.
accordion really good, like Pam
He was.
Swartz.
He was the last king of Scotland.
Yes, he was.
After World
I have
War
Scottish thistles growing in my yard, and it attracts these weird yellow birds I've never seen before. They love eating the thistles.
This will cut you. I'm listening.
After World War One, this malaise suffered. It settled over the world. Like because these people were coming back from the war and they were all messed up, and they bonded together and they said, we're going to form an art movement that shows how the sane world is not really sane. And so
True.
all of our art is going to be nonsense. And so they would get together and they would put up little performances where they would just talk baby talk. So the rest of the art world called them the Dadaists.
Yeah, that's why it was called
Oh.
that. I didn't know that was what it was
Yeah.
called.
Do you remember that movie Pearl Harbor from 2001 with Ben Affleck and the guy that played the one of the characters' fathers with the, Ethan Hawke was William Fichtner, who's from he went to Maryvale, but he was the character was very badly hurt by PTSD from World War One. He was a mess, so he became a farmer because he didn't have to think about it then, But that's
But
what
he grow
I remember it, but I
marijuana.
never saw it.
and so that was the whole point about the kid becoming a pilot in World War II because his dad was a pilot, but he did a good example. Somebody messed up because they called it battle fatigue, or they said you're a coward, and we didn't understand
Shell shock.
Yeah, shell shock.
Good New Order song.
Yeah, not New Order.
Yes, New Order.
Well, that's who
New
sang
World
it, but
Order.
that wasn't that. Once you see somebody who really has PTSD, it's not funny. It's heartbreaking.
I have it.
Because it's the
Yeah,
flashback. Because you know what's the
friend-
thing that distresses the people the most about PTSD? It's not what they see, it's not what they hear, because when they flash back to there, it's the smell. They smell the gunfire or the gunpowder, they smell the burning oil, they smell the dead bodies. That's the thing that distresses them. Because you say, there's nothing in there. Why can I smell it? And that's what distresses people.
With me, it's seeing myself outside the truck wreck I was in back in 2002.
Yeah, that's and that's why because when I was in the Caribbean, people would have nicknames that were based on the worst part of your life. Like there was a guy who was known as Suicide
Yep.
because when he was a kid, he stood on the second floor of the school building, he was going to jump off. So every day of his life, they reminded him of that. Or there was another kid they called Toilet because he probably has Crohn's disease, but they wouldn't know it in the Caribbean. But he spent a lot of time on the toilet, so they called him Toilet. That's your
Human toilet.
nickname. You know
Nice.
that.
So for a while there in the history of art, the Dadaists were the most radical of all the artistic movements. So they attracted a lot of people. Then there were people who they attracted said, we got to take this to a different tact. They said, there's this guy named Sigmund Freud, and we've been reading his work and his work on dreams. Why don't we branch off and start doing a type of art based on dreams? The Surrealists. They were led by a guy named Andre Breton. The Dadaists were dead set against the Surrealists. You're making too much sense. You're supposed to be disruptors. You're supposed to not make sense. So the Dadaist movement, they had a special event in Paris where they were going to put on trial the head of the Surrealist movement. And they said, well, he's not going to show up, so we'll just put a dummy in the chair. He showed up. And then he got up and he was denouncing the Dadaists. What you're doing is wrong. You're stifling artistic integrity. And that whole event is like pivotal in the history of art, where they went head to head.
Well, where did abstract come from then?
Abstract expressionism's from the 50s.
No, Pollock
think so.
started in the 40s. That's why.
Yeah,
I'm
well, that
wondering-
is after surrealism.
It probably had something to do with the Second World War and post-traumatic stress. And
because that's the thing. Pollock just splattered paint on canvases, but I can still see the art.
But you have a ton of different artists in the abstract expressionists, including like the sculptor David Smith.
Never heard of him.
No, you should
The
get
only
familiar.
David Smith I know is a doctor, and I think
He's
he's dead.
a great sculptor.
now, have we all seen Jackson Pollock paintings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is he expressing an energy that is trying to get out of the painting, or that's drawing you in?
I think it's getting out. I think it's like
Yeah.
a nova.
Yeah.
It's got to burst forth, and it's like what's remarkable when if you don't know a lot about it. Nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, because logically fusion you don't understand why it releases energy, because splitting the atom, the energy's all in there, but putting them together, why does that yield energy? You'd think it would be the other way. Instead of splitting it, when you put it in, it would take more energy to do it, but it's not. And it's like that it all releases energy. And so I would think that because it's like Potter Stewart said in '64 about porn. I can't tell you what it is, but I know it when I see it. I look at his art, and even though it's abstract, I can still see it. And if me, as the uneducated dope, can see the art versus the subjective, because I like it, the subjective, because I like it. And I can look at something and say, huh? We have 5 minutes left. Tony, do you have anything you want to add?
I am quite partial to one of Daly's quotes. I don't do drugs. I am drugs. My own artwork. I don't think it describes to Dadaism or some surrealism, but there's definitely no argument because what my artwork generally communicates to an opponent of the style is this could hurt you.
Because I was thinking of Marilyn Manson. Be quiet. I don't love I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me.
Why were you thinking of Marilyn Manson?
Because it was it attached to what he said about Dolly. He just said something about Dolly, saying he was the drugs. That's why.
Is everybody familiar with the painter Frida Kahlo?
Yeah, she had the
Oh,
unibrow.
yeah.
And the Diego Rivera.
Yeah. And so she liked to draw surrealist paintings about what's going on in her interior life. And this week at a thrift store, Vanessa found a painting.
Oh, I wish we had
that
that up.
looks like it could be drawn by Frida Kahlo.
It's amazing. I
It's
wish
wild.
we had
Vanessa
the
bought
image.
it, and it's going up on the wall.
Oh, have it appraised. Have it appraised. And that's because, what is... there's one school of thought that says priceless and worthless mean the same thing. Priceless is from the buyer and worthless is from the seller. Or the other way around. Worthless is the buyer and priceless is the seller. I forgot which is which, but they're the same thing. You can't pay enough or too little for an item. Either it is infinitely valuable or is infinitely worthless. It doesn't have any value.
If
So they're
I
kind of the
were-
same thing.
If I were ever to start drawing for a
I think
living,
there's
the thrill would be
opposite
killed.
Oh, that's one of the title cards.
I wonder if we have it.
I think between Christianity and the value of money, I think there's a reversal of what's valuable and what isn't. Because in Christianity, you put emphasis on if you have two of something, you help somebody else out if they have less than you. And in most people's minds, it's like the more you have, the better off you are. It does say in the Bible that money is a protection, but that's...
But it's also easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yes, but with God, all things are possible.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and render unto God what is God's.
Do you
Exactly.
understand that?
Yeah, you got to follow the local laws, but also do your own thing.
Well, the apostles asked Jesus, should we pay the tax? And that's
he
what he
said-
said. And if I was an apostle, I'd say, well, is that a yes or a no?
I'd say it's a yes.
It's a yes?
I would say that, yeah, because you if you don't have enough power to make your own laws, you got to follow what's local and then do your own thing. Because flash forward 1,700 years, and you have the American Revolution. The British could have kept North America if they weren't such pricks about it. You know, that of all taxation without representation. You can't have 100,000 or 200,000 or 1 million people saying, screw you. You're across the ocean, so screw you. We're going to squeeze you dry. Because unlike in India, these are other white people, and they're also your people. You know, and that they should have learned from that. But everything the British did, they ruined.
Okay.
So, and also the thing that people didn't know, they thought that the redcoats were high quality, well experienced men, but actually they were having trouble with the British Army at that time because the French and Indian War had depleted them, and they didn't have a lot of pros left. So the ragtag Americans were actually not. They thought it was like this. It was more like this because they weren't much better, but they weren't as high as people thought. The redcoats, because you know why they wore the red. If they got shot, you wouldn't know it.
Oh, I thought it was 'cause they like Taylor Swift, and that's her color.
No, not at all. That's just no. That reminds me of the joke, but I don't have time to tell it.
Sure you
Bring
do.
me my brown pants. That's the tagline. Bring me my brown pants. Yeah, Sal gets it. But that's why. But when
do you know what the Boston Tea Party was about?
taxation of the tea, and because tea was a big thing, and so
So what happened is a big tea manufacturer essentially bribed the king and said, any tea that we send to the America, we don't pay any tax on it. So they had all their stores in the colonies were selling tea way below what everybody else could sell. That's what they were pissed off about.
well, that's why on the new series Nautilus on AMC, the British East India Company is shown to be inveterately evil. Because Ricardo Montalban playing Khan realized you got to have a villain that has depth, and many villains think they're doing the right thing, just evil for evil's sake. But that's how they depict the British East India Company is just evil throughout and just evil for evil's sake. Okay, so 5 seconds left. Does anybody have anything they want to say besides bye? Au revoir, and you are free. You are free.
Buenas noches.
Adios.
Adios.